Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, we are going to talk about these 10 facts about the U.S. housing market. One of them comes from a research firm that estimated home prices would go up 10.8%. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all these other facts as well here. Very interesting stuff in here. If you watch a channel regularly, you probably have noticed I have this thing on my head. I had 10 stitches up there. They got removed, but it still looks pretty gnarly. So I'm wearing the thing for a while. So
Okay.
that's some of you have commented, so I just wanted to talk about that. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're going to go through the 10 facts. We'll talk about them and then explain why we think these facts are the way they are about housing right now. Okay, number one, U.S. homes are getting smaller. The size of new homes being built has declined by 12% since 2016. 1920s through 1950s, homes were all about 1,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 or 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Okay,
Right.
Then we started this thing where homes started getting bigger, and they got bigger all the way up to really, late 2000s, early 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
What are some reasons homes would be getting smaller?
So we've changed as a society, right?
Okay.
Homes got bigger because as a society we needed more space because we were having more children, so we needed more space.
Okay.
We were also more affluent, so lots of things went into that. As we got into maybe the 20 teens, we had kind of a change in society, right? We're having less children, we're getting married later, so all of those things have kind of come to a point where we don't need homes as big as we once did because we're not having 4, 5, 6 children. We're maybe having no children or maybe just 1 or 2 children, not everybody, but certainly families are getting smaller. So because families are getting smaller, that's a reflection of that. It's also a reflection of, like I said, people starting their home buying experience later in life, and that also contributes to having less children because, of course, if you couple up later in life, you're less likely to have a bigger family.
How much of this also is due to, we use Las Vegas as an example, as the town grows, we actually start running out of land.
We do start running out of land. Part of the way that we compensate for that is rather than having a single story or a 2-story, we have 3-story homes, right?
We have those.
So we are compensating for the lack of land in other ways as well. But it also reflects, I think, a demand, right? Because builders build what there's a demand for. And the demand is not for homes as big as maybe we were building a decade ago.
Okay. Second fact, the median age of all home buyers is now 49 years old, up from 31 in 1981. What are some reasons that this is demographics have changed?
Right.
What's changed?
Right. So going back to the Great Recession and forward from that, we have lots of young adults that are choosing to stay home. They're choosing to not have their own place. So because they're choosing to stay home, they're choosing to stay home longer. So by the time they leave their parents' home, maybe they're 30, maybe even 30 something. So because of that, then their home buying experience happens later. This is, of course, doesn't apply to everyone, but I think a lot of us know people, or maybe that's happening in your family, where adult children are living at home. I was having a conversation with someone at the office the other day, and he's one of these people that's still home. So this is something that we're seeing more and more of. I've got some clients that have children in their early 30s. These children have been making 6 figures for a number of years, and they're still living at home. And not out of necessity, but because things have changed and they see no reason to leave. You remember in the olden days, you could not have an overnight guest.
Yes.
If you were living with
naughty.
If you were living at home, but now socially that's not unacceptable anymore. So if you can have overnight guests as an adult, and if you have the benefit of living in your parents' home, maybe that's something that some of you are choosing to do.
Median age of getting married in the 70s and 80s was 23, 24. Today it's over 30. So that's changed too.
Right.
Not having as many kids too is another thing. Okay, here's the the third one, and we'll just talk about this. We'll hit all the other ones. Our home price model predicts that house prices will increase 10.8% over the coming year. The crash bros every year say it's going to crash.
Right.
They always, they find one data in one market and they point in and say, look, it's going to crash. What are some factors that are going into, like, zero actual banks, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Corelogic, none of those have predicted decline. They're all between 4 and 10.
Right.
What is going on? Why are home prices likely to continue to go up?
Okay, so home prices are likely to go up for a couple of reasons. Number one, we're not building enough homes, so supply and demand.
Okay.
Number two, we still have a growing population, both homegrown, so to speak, and an influx of immigration. So all of these are factors for home prices going up. Now, does that mean that everybody can afford to buy a home? No, but it does mean that you will have investors buying homes and participating in the marketplace, and they will turn around and rent these properties out. So all of that goes to this situation where we have home prices increasing. Now, it does not mean every market, right? Not every market participates equally. And so, this 10.8% is a national number. So, it might be 18% in your market. It might be 8% in someone else's market. It might be nothing in someone else's market. So it depends on your market. But they're looking nationally, and this is kind of what they're expecting.
The crash pros are super hot on this idea that there's the most ever, second most ever, new homes. They're all completed. They're ready to go, but nobody will buy them.
Not true.
Oh, not true. What is the actual... That's what they're saying, because people are too lazy to go find out what that means. But what are the actual numbers? What does that mean when they say for sale, new home for sale?
Okay, so it means anytime from when that lot is opened up for a reservation all the way to the home is completed and ready to go. Now, if you are in the market for a new home, December is a great time to buy a new home. Why is that? Well, because it's the magic witching month, right? End of quarter, end of year. So depending on which home builder, it might be the end of their fiscal year as well. So all of these play into you being able to maybe negotiate a great deal, grab a great real estate agent and go out there and buy new construction. There are some great products out there. If you do not have a great real estate agent, we would be more than happy to connect you with one, either here in Vegas or anywhere in the country. Please feel free to reach out to us and we'll help you.
Okay, 40% of U.S. homes don't have a mortgage. In Vegas, it's over 50. Mm-hmm. How does this affect the stability of the housing market? Because when the housing market crashed, like 17% of homes were free and clear. Now it's 40 to 42.
Right. So the more homes are free and clear, the more stable the market, right? Because they don't have that mortgage payment to make. So if they have a life event and don't have cash, they can just liquidate the home and get cash, and they're certainly not going to fall back. They're not going to fall behind on mortgage payments. So that's a good thing. The other thing is it also speaks to the other, almost 60%, because the other half of the market, so to speak, it's not like they're completely maxed out, right?
No.
They do owe money on the house, but they owe anywhere from just a little bit to almost the full value. So because of that range, that also speaks to the stability of the market, because that means that most people have a substantial amount of equity in their home. And again, if they do have a life event and need to sell the home, there is equity there, and they can sell the home and cash out.
It's not on this slide, but we did this on a couple of videos ago. Of those 60% of homes that have mortgages, over half of them, the mortgage is less amount than the equity in the house, meaning they owe less than half the value of the house,
right.
Over half of them. Okay, number 5, the average number of homes sold per real estate agent every year is 21, down from 54 in 2004. I don't think this is the average, not the median. So this is sort of super misleading. I don't think this number is right, first of all. There's 1.7 million real estate agents, and there's only 3 4 or 5 million homes sold a year. So how does that? Where do you think they get that number for? Because we know that number's not right.
Right. So I don't know. We do know that NAR put out some numbers earlier, a few months ago, and like half the agents hadn't done any transactions this year. So
half.
Yeah. So it was pretty pretty eye popping. So I don't know that those numbers are correct. However, the trend is what's meaningful there, right?
Yeah.
That there are less transactions being done.
Okay.
That's really what that's all about. There are less transactions being done. We all know that, right? Because we've been talking about this for some time, and the number of transactions being done, we think, will probably increase in 2025 because we've been in this declining trend for some time because of the interest rates that people have on their homes, and they haven't wanted to extinguish those. But we think that 2025 might be the watershed year that we have more transactions than we had in 2024.
In 2009, the most number of homes that were sold by an agent team of 2 agents was 750. They were all listings that were representing the seller. Juana, why do we know that number?
Because we are very familiar with those 2 people.
We are very familiar with those 2 people.
And they're probably on your screen right now.
Yeah. We sold we're the number 1 team in the nation, 750 homes. 2009, every one was a bank-owned home.
Yes.
They were all bank-owned homes. Okay. Number 6, household equity in real estate is at a record high, 73% of housing value. So if you took all the value of real estate and you took all the mortgages, that 27% would be mortgage and 73%. That's like amazing. That's got to be stable for housing, right?
Right.
Because you don't have people upside down. It's not in here too, but we did a thing where only 1.2% of all people nationally are upside down in their mortgage. Mm-hmm. That's pretty amazing. Okay.
And just because someone owes more on their home than what their home is worth does not mean that they need to liquidate that home. That just lets you know what the equity position is. But remember, the value of your home is only important when you buy the home and when you sell the home. The in-between, that's just entertainment.
A record high 36% of Americans say they would rent if they were going to move. So 64% would buy, 36% would rent. That's the highest ever recorded. Why do you think that is?
So first of all, I think that statement is a little misleading, because if you kind of look at what we're like now, that kind of matches where we are, right? Which is how many people own homes versus how many people rent already. So I'm not sure if this is talking about people who currently own, would sell, and then would rent. I'm not really sure what that statement means.
I don't know. Okay, we're just presenting the data. We didn't make any of this up, and this is not our data.
No.
Okay, number 8, more than half of all mortgages outstanding have an interest rate below 4%. So 40-something percent, 42 or percent have no interest rate because they're free and clear. Then you have the rest that call it 60%. So that means that only 30% of all homes everywhere in the country have over 4%. Now remember, a lot of those are between 4 and 5 or between 5 and 6. Sure. There's only about 2% of all homes actually over 7% or something like that. What if you bought your house in 2014 and you had a 4.5% interest rate?
Well, then you either kept your 4.5 or you refinanced and got 2-something or 3-something.
Almost everybody I knew, there was a crazy refi boom in 2020 and 21. 95% of mortgages outstanding are 30-year fixed rates. We actually have the highest rate in the world for fixed rate mortgages. Right. No one has more in the world than we do. One, does that mean all the other 5% of mortgages are like adjustable rate loans that next year are going to go up to 12%?
Not at all. So you have all kinds of other things. So
okay.
Maybe you have a 15-year fixed.
That's still a fixed rate, right?
It's a fixed, still a fixed rate mortgage. And I would wager that a majority of that 5% is at 15%, a 15-year fixed.
Why would you get a 15% fixed versus a 30-year fixed? Why not just stretch lock in that rate for 30 years?
So people will get a 15-year fix because it's at a lower rate
Okay.
than the 30-year.
So if the rate is 6%, the 15-year rate a lot of times is 5.25.
Right.
It's substantially,
Right.
yeah, it's substantially
Yeah,
less.
it is substantially less.
What other kinds of loans could there be?
So, you could have a 15-year fixed. You could have maybe an interest only.
Okay, so tell me about that.
So an interest only is a loan where you're not paying down the principal, you're just paying interest,
Okay.
and then you have a balloon at the end. That happens particularly if it's an owner carry, that might happen. There are all kinds of circumstances under which that could happen. So there are lots of other loan products out there that are interesting. And so this 5% contains a lot of different types of loans, including maybe an ARM, so where it's fixed for 5 years, and then after that it starts to adjust, or it's fixed for 7 years and it starts to adjust. So all kinds of different loan products out there. But like I said, that 5%, I would wager that majority of that are 15-year fixed.
Okay, last one. 63% of all mortgages outstanding were issued after 2018. Now, there's 140 million houses in the US. There are only 20 to 25 million sold between 2019 and now. Okay? So how is it that 63% of all mortgages are issued after 2018? Because you would think that'd be a bigger number.
So remember, we had those lovely couple years where we had amazingly low interest rates, and lots of people refinanced, right? So people took advantage of that, which is great, as they should. And they've got these phenomenal interest rates, and that's the reason why we're in the pickle that we are as far as not a lot of transactions, because people have these amazing interest rates and they're hard to give up.
Yeah, there's the 90-day lates. One of the Crash Bros posted a chart that showed the number of defaults is equal to the housing crash. But when you read the chart, it said multifamily homes. It was apartment complexes. It had nothing to do with people. Houses that are owned by people, the 90-day lates, which are serious delinquent mortgages, are the lowest in 25 years. And 25 years ago is when they started counting the data. It's literally the lowest ever. So I think I don't know how they came up with this 10.8. I don't think it's going to be 10.8. I'd be shocked, honestly. Will there be some markets where it goes up 10.8%? Probably. But aggregate in the whole country, 4 to 5% is probably what home price rate is. What everybody else has said is between 4 and 5%. Now that's not really taking a risk on it, because the long-term appreciation for homes are 4 or 5% a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty typical.
That's it.
So we thought this was interesting and fun to share with you. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a comment and tell us what you liked about it. If you have suggestions for videos, we appreciate those too. Leave us a comment and tell us what you'd like to hear us cover. We appreciate you watching. Please remember to give us an attaboy and attagirl by giving us a big thumbs up and subscribing. Hit the notification bell. Share the video. Share the great news about real estate.
All you have to do is click the share thing, and it just shares it to anyone who follows your channel.
And feel free to take a guess at what caused Todd's.
Oh my God. No alcohol was involved.
No.
Okay.
So feel free, just for entertainment purposes.
An old Marine. Yeah. All right.
All right. So we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.
Bye.